Hello and welcome to our series of Lent readings for 2023, considering people who encountered Jesus. Today it's day 40, and that means this is the final reading of this year. And we finish with one of those who was first to discover the tomb was empty on that first Easter Sunday morning. It's Mary Magdalene. Mary was a common name in the first century, and consequently, like John, Simon and James, there are a number of people with that name recorded in the New Testament. In fact, there's at least 6 Marys. The one we are focusing on today is known as Mary Magdalene, a name which probably means that she was the Mary from Magdala, a place on the western shore of Galilee. We're going to read about her experience on that first Easter Sunday as she goes early in the morning with another Mary to the tomb of Jesus. And we'll read that in Matthew 28 from verse 1. After the Sabbath, at dawn on the first day of the week, Mary Magdalene and the other Mary went to look at the tomb. There was a violent earthquake, for an angel of the Lord had come down from heaven and, going to the tomb, rolled back the stone and sat on it. His appearance was like lightning, and his clothes were white as snow. The guards were so afraid of him that they shook and became like dead men. The angel said to the women, "Do not be afraid, for I know that you are looking for Jesus who was crucified. He's not here. He is risen, just as he said. Come and see the place where he lay. Then go quickly and tell his disciples, he is risen from the dead and he's going ahead of you into Galilee. There you will see him. Now I have told you." So the women hurried away from the tomb, afraid yet filled with joy, and ran to tell his disciples. Suddenly Jesus met them. "Greetings," he said. They came to him, clasped his feet, and worshipped him. Then Jesus said to them, "Do not be afraid. Go and tell my brothers to go into Galilee, and there they will see me." Mary Magdalene appears in all 4 Gospels, and is mentioned first whenever there is more than one woman listed in the text, just as in the passage we've just read. However, other than the crucifixion and burial scenes, there's only one other text that references her. Luke 8 starts by listing the people who travelled with Jesus, and among them is Mary Magdalene, from whom it is said 7 demons were cast out. So all we can be sure of before the crucifixion, that at some point she met Jesus, had her life transformed, and became a follower. Medieval artwork often portrays her as a sinful woman or a prostitute, but that is never said about her in Scripture. Some have suggested that she was the sinful woman in Luke 7, who washes Jesus' feet with her tears and wipes him with her hair. But Luke never makes that connection in the text. Due to later writings and some recent books, such as Dan Brown's The Da Vinci Code, a lot of other claims have been attributed to Mary Magdalene, but there's no evidence that any of them are based on history. All we can rely on is the reference in Luke 8 and the records of the crucifixion and the burial. Yet these references alone make her significant in history. Matthew 27 recalls that Mary Magdalene was there at the cross when Jesus died, and also there when they laid Jesus' body in the tomb. As we just read, she was one of the first to discover that the tomb was empty, and will be among those to tell the disciples of the resurrection. It can be surprising at times to think over the people that God calls and uses. We started these Lent readings with Mary, the mother of Jesus, a young girl who was the first person to encounter Jesus at the Incarnation. And now we finish with another Mary, Mary Magdalene, the first person to encounter Jesus at the resurrection. In a time and culture where women were not highly regarded, God chose these apparently unremarkable people for great responsibility and privilege. I hope the variety of people we've met over these last 40 days has shown you how the people who encountered Jesus and were transformed came from all classes, cultures and backgrounds, frequently against the expectations of the world. God still calls and uses people from every aspect of life. The important factor is not who you are, but how you respond to his invitation. The promise of Philippians 1 verse 6 is that he who began a good work in you will bring it to completion. The fact that you're still here means that he hasn't finished with you yet. May he give you ears to hear, eyes to see, and a heart to respond as you continue to encounter him day by day, month by month, year by year, until he calls you home. Until next time, have a blessed day.